Physically, how did you feel in there? Was it the pace of that first round just too much, or was there adrenaline? I mean, what was going on in there?
I mean, I was throwing power shots a lot. Every punch was almost a power shot, and brawled a little bit more than I wanted to. But when you fight, a guy who throws volume like that, and you try to match his volume and disrupt his timing, it's gonna. I knew that the workload was gonna be a lot. I knew that mentally coming into this fight. We prepared for it in the gym, and I knew it was gonna be a gunslinging match.
You guys had a lot of respect for each other all throughout, but there was some talking in there tonight, some staring down. Give us an idea what the conversations were like, what was going on there.
One time my mouth was bleeding and I spit on him. And the ref said, "Hey, you can't spit on him." And he said, like he knew I didn't do it on accident. I didn't aim at him, but it just might have hit him. Man, it's a fist fight. You might get some spit on you. When I hit him with a good shot, he would say that was good, or start clapping. When I kneed him in the face and before he started bleeding, when he picked his head up from the knee, I saw the gash and I said, "Gotcha." And then it was a battle, man.
Yeah. As you said, it's a piece of the championship, and you want the completed one. Dana said, the Khabib fight definitely is the one that makes sense for you. It's your fight. He said he's thinking September is the right time. Give us an idea how you're feeling physically right now. Is that a likely date? Is that the fight that makes sense for you?
We'll see. Whenever they want to do it, I'm down. Like you just said, and like I said before, this is a piece of the world title, but it's a damn good piece, and we need to unify the belts. But right now, I have no injuries from the fight, bumps and bruises, of course. My hand's hurt from hitting Max so much. He's so durable, so tough. He's a great champion. My left bicep hurts a little bit. I might need to get that checked out. I don't know if I pulled something, but other than that, I feel good.
And last thing for me, Khabib obviously has an incredible record. Nobody's been able to figure him out. What is it that you feel like you bring to the table that will be different than anybody else did, that you'll be the guy that's able to beat him?
Grit, determination, the right amount of crazy, self-belief, everything it takes to be a champion. I have that.
Dustin, you said post-fight, that there was a moment in there like you felt the fight was slipping away from you. What did you have to do mentally to come back from that? Because it did look like maybe you were getting a little fatigued at points in the fight, and you managed to obviously get it back together and close it out pretty strong.
Just pull myself together, stay in the fight. Like, it's all mental, There were a couple times he hit me with some good shots. It looked like I was fatigued, but I was hurt a couple times against the fence. And just pull myself together, keep my feet under me, and keep believing. Like, I just had to have a second with myself. Like those thoughts creep in, and I got to tell myself, don't talk to me like that. And that's what it was.
Yeah. Were you surprised at Max's durability? He took some heavy shots from you.
Yeah. I was surprised I hurt him that quickly in the first. And it looked like his legs were definitely gone. He took a couple steps back and started wobbling. And I've seen a lot of Max's fights. I've never seen him really hurt like that. So I went a little crazy trying to put him away, which has got me in trouble in past fights. But the guy's so tough, man. This was my 40th fight tonight, and there's only been 2 fights that my hands, they're going to be swollen and hurting tomorrow. There was a Gaethje fight, and now Max.
Yeah, and Khabib did tweet out that he thought the fight was a draw. That's how he scored it. Was there any doubt in your mind that you got the win when the 5th round ended? I
didn't know. My boxing coach told me coming into the 5th round when I was sitting on the stool, he said, if you go out there and win this round, you're the world champion. So my corner obviously had me either tied there or ahead, and I won the 5th round, I feel like. But I didn't know. When you're in a fight like that and you're getting hurt and you're hurting him back and forth, there's blood everywhere. It's up, it's down. I don't know. I don't know who was winning the rounds.
Yeah, and it seems like this Khabib fight, rumors possibly it could happen in Abu Dhabi in September. What's your thoughts on going all the way over there and doing the unifier, kind of on the other side of the world?
I honestly haven't had time to really digest that and think about those thoughts. There was talks about it. Whoever won this fight was going to fight him, but I didn't look that far because I knew the fight I had tonight was going to be a serious one, and I knew my hands were full with Max. So tomorrow, next week, now I'll start thinking about it, and we'll see. But I don't know what's going to happen.
And just last thing, I know after you had beat Justin Gaethje, you gave us that really emotional interview talking about, you made the promise to your wife that you would get to this moment. You guys had a nice moment in the octagon and everything, but when you were backstage, when you have that belt, maybe later tonight, what's kind of that going to be like now that you've accomplished this?
I don't know. I got to go home and really find out, but she's been there with me since the first fight, you know, and it's been a long journey. And like I've said before, you know, she believed in me at times when I was ready to stop fighting. And, you know, I wouldn't be here with this belt if it wasn't for her. So it's just as much hers, this whole journey. And I'm just appreciative to be able to share it with her. And I've been saying it all week to her, to my management, to my team, that, you know, in the words of Teddy Atlas, I knew I had 25 minutes to make life fair tonight. Nothing mattered. When I've been overlooked or knocked out, dropped fights in the past, and had to climb back up, nothing mattered but 25 minutes tonight to make life fair and be a world champion. And that's all I cared about, man, is showing up for 25 minutes, staying focused. And my wife knew that I was going to go out there, and I was willing to leave a piece of myself in there. And I was. And I might have. I can't wait, man. I'm bringing my daughter to the zoo Monday morning. Her dad is the champ. I have a video on my phone of her running around saying, "Dad's the champ," before I was. I've watched it 100 times this week. Nobody can take this away from me. I paid for it in full with blood, sweat, and tears. And I don't know if anybody's ever had a dream or a goal that took all of themselves to become a reality. And that's what this represents to me.
Justin, thanks for bringing us that awesome fight to Atlanta, man. It was great. And tell me, what went to your mind after you hitting him so hard, so many times, and the guy, it was fighting like nothing happened to him?
I thought I was going to put him away a few times. And, you know, he didn't get on the bicycle. He walked forward when he was hurt and crowded me and made it hard for me to hit him. And he hit me with shots. The guy's a warrior. I knew I was in a dogfight. After each round, going back to my corner, I was just thinking, how this fight's insane. You know, I'm hurt. He's hurt. He's spitting blood. You know, and I have nothing bad to say about Max at all. You know, he's still the champ.
Yeah. So on your when you get home, so what you gonna be cooking, man?
Man, I don't know. It's in Louisiana. It's Festival International right now, and I definitely need some jambalaya, and I'm gonna be eating a lot,
So
for sure.
What's for your future? Can you tell us?
Hopefully to unify the belt, to get healthy, to take lessons from this fight and get better as a fighter, and to keep progressing. I feel like I'm entering my prime right now. Tonight was my 40th fight, and I've learned a lot of lessons, and I found out a lot about myself, and I found out that I can trust myself in there.
If he wants a third fight, will you give it? Will you give it to him?
To Max?
Yeah.
I think this represents my next fight has to be for a unification fight, but I love Max, man. I'll fight him 5 more times.
Thanks, man.
Dustin, right here. Congratulations. Incredible fight. You'd been asked about, you know, Max, the shots that he was able to take in that fight. I'm just curious, when you're hitting him with everything that you have and this man is still walking forward, is there a mental adjustment you almost have to make?
I think I made it towards the end of the fight. I realized that, you know, I'm wasting a lot of energy and making this fight a lot closer than it needs to be, brawling. So I just got behind my jab and started to throw my cross a little bit more straighter. Tried to pump the jab. He started using less head movement towards the end of the fight, and the jab was finding its home very easy. He's kind of tricky. His speed and timing his cadence that he uses is a little different. He'll loop shots to the body, throw slow jabs with a fast cross behind it. It keeps you off. You know, a lot of his jabs didn't land, but the cross did. You know, the guy's a good striker.
It seemed like there were certain moments where he was starting to find that momentum, and you had talked about that this week, where he's that guy who will snowball rolling down a hill type of thing. When he's finding his momentum, what adjustments did you make? What were you able to do to change that?
Probably not the best adjustments, but I bit down and threw as hard as I could and tried to hurt him. Multiple times on the fence. I missed a lot. I probably looked like a maniac out there. I haven't seen any clips really, but I tried to hurt him, you know.
I asked you this after the Justin Gaethje fight, and I almost want to ask you it again. When you're in those moments, those firefights where you're just biting down your mouthpiece and things are just getting really crazy, what is that moment like for you?
That's what fighting is to me. That's the purest feeling of fighting to me. I'm hurt. I'm busted up. He's hurt. He's busted up. We're both digging down. Who wants it more? That grit of fighting is addictive. I'm scared of it. It's a very weird thing, man.
We've talked about how long this road has been for you. Do you feel like you proved anything to yourself today?
I knew I have the ability to become a champion. I knew I did. You probably heard me say before, when I look in the mirror, I'm happy with the person I am as a fighter, as a husband, as a father. I knew I just needed the opportunity, and that's why I text Dana every day for weeks before that fight was announced. I called him, talked to him for 30 minutes on the phone. I wanted something big. I wanted to fight. Back, months ago, I was texting him. I blew up Dana's phone a lot leading up to this fight.
My last question. Were you at all tired in there? Did you feel like you had to find a second win at any point in that fight?
Maybe in the, I'm not sure, the rounds kind of, the third or the fourth, I got hurt a little bit and I was against the fence and I did have, feel winded a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I have good cardio. I can compete with anybody. Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Hey, Dustin, just one from me. A lot's been made about Max moving up in weight. I just wanted to know, did he feel like a lightweight in there? I think people were surprised that you actually look bigger than him.
Did I look bigger than him?
Yeah.
I am a lightweight. I probably was. I don't know what Max came in tonight, but I probably was a few pounds heavier than him. He's a big guy, though. He gets heavy. The athletic commission wouldn't let him cut the rest of the weight for Khabib, so he's a big guy. In the clinch, he was slick technically with elbows and short shots. I didn't feel a whole lot of strength there, but when I got in on his legs on the wall, his underhooks, his whizzer, his hips, his legs, and hips are very strong. I felt the strength there.
Incredible performance tonight, Dustin. Thank you for putting on a great fight. I remember watching Fightville many years ago and seeing your crazy training with crazy Tim Kaddour, and I know you're with Mike Brown now, an American Top Team, and obviously it's an individual thing when you step in that cage, but it is very much a team sport. If you can, tell us about how much those guys really kind of shaped you and helped you kind of lead to this moment right now.
Tim or Mike?
Both.
Tim was in the crowd. He's out here with his wife and a couple of his students. So it's good to have him here, He was in my corner for the first Max Holloway fight. And now we are here full circle for the championship against the same guy. So it's good to have that support. But Tim's, when I met Tim, I was just a young guy trying to fight. He kind of showed me the business side of it. He taught me great jiu-jitsu technique and the martial arts. When I went to American Top Team, I learned how to train and prepare and schedule like a professional fighter. Before I was around, nothing against Tim or anybody he has in his camp and his team, those are all my good friends. I'm gonna go back home and start working with them now that I'm back in Louisiana. But those were a bunch of guys who fought on the weekend, not Tim, everybody else I trained with there. The roster of guys wasn't that big. These guys were part-time fighters. When I went to American Top Team, these guys were full-time fighters. That's how they fed their family. So the room was different. The lessons were different. The camaraderie was different. And that's what really, being around guys like Thiago Alves, Robbie Lawler is a good buddy of mine now, a guy who I respect a lot. And a guy, when I have dropped fights in the past, when I didn't want to get out of the house for the weeks after, would come and pull me out of the house. Robbie's a good guy, a very quiet guy, doesn't talk a lot, he's not on social media and stuff, but he's a really good person. Being around guys like that and picking their brains really let me know so much more about this game. I don't know, it's not even a game. I'm tired of calling it a game or a sport. This is survival, that's what this is.
Dustin, just two last things and we'll let you get out of here. When he tried to hit you with the Darce at the end of the fourth round, you guys kind of exchanged some words a little bit. If there was more time there, would that have been deep, and what was just your little exchange after?
Yeah, it would have been. It was locked in very deep. But the reason it was locked in that deep is because I knew the time was short, and I was kind of just killing the clock there. Like, I knew there was less than 10 seconds. He's not going to finish that. It was kind of, you shouldn't do that. But it was kind of just like, whatever. The bell's about to ring. I knew I was safe.
Cool. And just last thing, you're obviously going to be auctioning off your fight gear. Can we just give you one last opportunity to, describe your platform and what you're going to be doing?
Yeah, a young kid named Aaron Hill had a very rare brain disease called ALD, and he was in the disabled class. Your motor skills start to deteriorate very quickly. So he was a normal, healthy kid at 6 years old, and then couldn't walk, and lost a lot of motor functions and stuff like that, and got put into a disabled class at his school. And he went downhill very quick, and he wanted a playground for the kids in his class, and that was his wish. And he never got to see it happen. He passed away, and when we heard about his story, that hit me in my feelings, and I was like, we got to get this done in honor of him. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to build a disabled playground at his school, and put a plaque in honor of Aaron Hill, and his dream could live on. I just thought it was beautiful that a young kid that had that kind of dream where everybody can benefit. He wanted it for his classmates, and I thought that was beautiful. So we're going to build a playground for him, for sure.
Dustin, one real quick one from me. We've asked all the fighters tonight, tomorrow, Game of Thrones Season 8 premiere. Do you watch the show? Are you a fan? And if so, who do you think wins at the end of it?
I wish I knew what you were talking about, man. I tried to get into it, and if I have to force myself to watch 2 episodes, I don't want to get into it. So I never seen anything. I'm more of like a Breaking Bad, Ozarks, stuff like that. The first episode, I'm into it. I don't want to have to watch 3 or 4 episodes to get hooked.
Dustin right here, man. A couple things. When you were down at 145, you fought Conor McGregor, and he talked so much crap, man. I so wanted you to beat him down, man, but you lost to him. But after that, I think that's when you started on your roll. You went up to 155, and then you kept going, man. Was that the turning point in your career? You think that loss to McGregor?
It's tough to say, I was doing very well before that, before the loss to McGregor. I just knew how many fights I would have to fight to get back to title contention at 45, and me and my team knew that I didn't have a lot of weight cuts to 45 left in me. And if I would have beat Conor that night, of course I would have stayed there to fight for the belt and rode it out as long as I could. But when that loss happened, I knew the road back, and we just decided, let's go ahead and move up now and start working and building here.
Okay, and one more thing, man. I'm a writer, so what you said earlier, Grit, Determination, and the Right Amount of Crazy, that's the title of your book you should write for yourself, man. Just hook it up with me, man, so I can write that for you, man. We can get that going. I like that title, man, so I think that's a good one.
I appreciate it. Let's do it, man.
All right.
I'm down. Thank you, guys. The champ.